I thank Minister Chee Hong Tat for his reply on Section 26 and 27. Now, I agree that there are no specific provisions at the moment to take into account MCCYS views, but at the same time, the existing legislation does not prohibit MAS from taking into account those views. It's actually left open. So why is Section 26 and 27 not sufficient? My second clarification is referring to Minister Edwin Tong's reply that the capital resilience can be improved by reinsuring. Now, my point was that the reason for this sale of income insurance was presented as the need to improve capital resilience. But if the capital resilience is actually improved through reinsurance, then it has nothing to do with this acquisition by Allianz. So why is that presented as the reason? Thank you.
Minister Chee Hong Tat.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I thank Ms. Poa for acknowledging my explanation that there is no explicit provision under the Insurance Act for MAS to take into account the views of MCCY relating to social mission. Sir, if we depart from what MAS has been doing all these years as a prudential regulator under Section 26 and 27, where we assess applications from financial institutions, to suddenly say that we now will take into account social mission because we interpret this very broadly, I think first that itself could lead to more uncertainty for the industry players, because they will be wondering, the next time, would you then change the interpretation to something else again without being clear about the reasons why you're doing it and being transparent about how you're doing it? And that is why, as Ms. Jessica Tan mentioned earlier, we prefer to take a more open and transparent approach of coming to Parliament to seek Parliament's approval for this change, to address the concerns that we have, but to do so in a tightly scoped manner so that the rest of the industry who are not co-ops or who have no links to co-ops need not worry that this new provision taking into account social mission will also apply to them. Thank you.
Ms. Herting-Rue, Minister Edwin Tong, do you want to add to Minister Chee's statement?
Yes, I was going to respond to Ms. Poa's second question. Again, as I said just now, I'm not able to, and I'm not going to speak on behalf of income, but you did make a point, and you suggested in your speech that the statement, which I got you to confirm earlier, that capital resiliency following the transaction was misleading. And that's the point I was trying to make. And I think earlier on, we agreed that that's the reference that you were making in paragraph 7. So the point really is this, Ms. Poa. The transaction is contemplated between an insurer, Income, and another insurer, Allianz. It is also proposed that following the transaction, the plan was to optimize capital. One of the ways in which it was going to be done was to reinsure a portion or a portfolio of Income's risks. Taken together, the statement, therefore, that after transaction is carried out, its capital resiliency would be improved is, in my view, not misleading. And that was the explanation I gave to you. And I also explained to you that you can improve capital resiliency in a number of different ways, such that even after capital reduction, you could still have an adequate capital adequacy ratio.